again, muscle is the organ of longevity, so the more of it you have and the stronger it is, the longer you actually will live, including your leg muscles, actually. So you actually want to live longer, have strong thighs, and have strong quads, because apparently that extends your life by like 7 years, I think. That's actually what the studies show. If you lose this first, you'll lose everything else. Because this obviously holds
if
like...
you lose this, you lose everything else. What? Where'd it go? We're back again. You know what's going on. It's the Unpopular Podcast. We got Wills, the cameraman, in the building. We got Randall in the building. You know what's going on? We got Lami G in the building in the back. Glasses on. It's another day. Today is October 19th.
October 19th on Sunday. It's been a long fucking week for me. It's been a long fucking week.
Nigga,
because we had that.
It's fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
It's the start of the week.
Yeah, that is the start of the week.
Start of my week, rather. So.
No, most people will start their week on Sundays. You know.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't do that. My day's off for Sundays anyway.
Well, it don't mean it's not the start of your week.
Just the end.
If you were to look at a calendar directly, the Sunday is going to be on all the way to the left.
The
All
beginning.
Right, fair enough.
You could have just said the beginning.
Fair enough. No, it's like my.
I could have just said the beginning.
My week has been long as shit because we had that annual fucking white people shit again, the fucking hunt at my job.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I saw that was happening this weekend, and I was like, yo, how much is that shit for real? Because I was like, yo, I'm almost about to go to that shit.
It's like $100 to get in, I believe.
I read a lot about the prices.
You're not white.
Nah, it don't make it fun.
Dude,
that
bro, I'm just being a jackass. It's not exclusively for white people.
That don't matter.
Like
it's bougie. Bougie was a better word to call it.
Anybody can go, but it's reserved
for white people shit.
It's the horse races.
It's reserved for bougie ass white people.
The horse race type of shit.
The white shit.
Yeah,
it's reserved for bougie ass white people to get fucking drunk
white
and shit.
Yeah, but I was this close contemplating whether I wanted to go to that this weekend. But I wanted to look up how much it was first.
Yeah,
and depending on which section you want to sit in, it's going to cost you a little bit more.
White
Parking is going to cost you a lot. Yeah, it was.
White people shit. White people shit.
Bro, we get it. God damn.
The whole time.
That's the button. Like you played yourself.
We get it.
No, the whole time. If I had went, that whole experience probably would have cost me like $400.
Probably more than that.
To take me and Yana. $400.
I'll give it a buck with you. It would
probably been more than that. Yeah, I would have said at least $400.
But the fucking thing, we had to do like an overnight thing because we had to prep all the food and shit. The entire kitchen stayed overnight, cooked all the food. The staff that was gonna work the parties and then also work the door and security, they had to come in at 5 a.m. to actually organize all the food, put it in the right spots, and then we had to drive over to the field, and we had to actually drive on the grass and actually stop at every individual spot that had.
So you guys are catering the event?
Catering the event.
Oh, okay, that's lit. That's lit. So you were low key there.
We were one of the party. We were one of the restaurants that was doing the catering and shit. But it was so much fucking work, bro. And dude, like yes, the event is fun itself, but like getting in and out is fucking ridiculous.
Where you work?
Delicious Heights up in Bedminster. It's literally like my job is literally 2 minutes up the down the road from the actual field.
Yeah,
with
I remember when you was telling me about this last year, and I looked up to see where it was. I'm like, oh, that's like right by Randall's job.
Yeah. So. Bro, but like it was mad annoying, and worst of all, bro, like we fucked up a number of times because apparently we ran out of food for one party that we were serving, and then we had to get a second order of some fucking breakfast sandwiches that apparently went missing. I don't know how the fuck that happened and shit. And then I had to drive into the event again, getting stopped by the cops. I had to have a pass, I had to have a parking ticket, I had to have everything like that and shit. That shit drove me nuts. And apparently, bro, like they don't mess around with like underage drinking over there, bro. Like they have like they have like over like I think 100 something cops in there, and apparently they have a judge and a prosecutor on standby in the actual field.
That's crazy.
Like so if they catch you, like you'll be arrested, tried, and charged right there.
That's crazy. And
I don't know if it happened this year, but like that's apparently what they do. That's crazy. But one of our parties...
I can imagine being strict about, underage drinking, especially at this place where it's just a bunch of rich people up in here trying to, get off. I can imagine get their shit off. Get their shit off. I can imagine it's a bunch of young white kids in there who aren't 21 trying to get lit.
No, yeah, it was.
Who are just here simply because they can afford it.
Right. But yeah, like they didn't mess around with that shit this year though. But I remember we had a party of like I think 175 people. So our whole catering order that we had, and when you include all the people that ordered shit, it was at least like 50K worth of food.
Yeah,
50K worth of food. There was a party that apparently ordered $15,000 worth of food out of that 50K.
That's lit.
It was 175 people, and I think like 3 people were at that party, like serving and catering and shit like that. It was hectic. I remember the first time I actually did go there, like when I first started working that job, I was actually a bartender, and I never had bartending before.
Yeah.
And I was serving drinks like, bro. So you see this bottle right here? Imagine a bottle of Jack Daniels twice the size of this bottle, and I'm pouring literally just like a half a cup of Jack, like up to here and shit, with some soda. Bro, I got tipped like $40, $50 every time I poured a drink like that. And, like, I mean, like,
because they paid. I'm not gonna lie. You pouring a lot of Jack in that cup.
I know.
You definitely overpouring.
No, I know.
You're getting them drunk.
You getting them drunk as shit, and that's why they're giving you $40 tips.
Yeah,
like they're low key almost paying you for the drink that you overcharged.
Yeah, like we literally like I think we made like $800 that day, and just in cash tips from the actual bar. I was just serving drinks like a madman all fucking day and shit.
Yeah.
But
they ain't give you no pointers, no nothing before they throw you in there?
No, because they were busy.
Yeah,
they were busy.
That's why you was overpouring them.
They were scrambling, and they literally just said like, Randall, just stay here, just fucking pour drinks, just learn shit. Like, so I'm on my phone actually trying to learn certain drink recipes because they're asking me for like a Negroni, they're asking me for like a Jack and Coke or whatever it is. They're asking me for different like combinations and shit. So I'm on my phone just looking this shit up, bro, just trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing and shit. Because I was by myself.
Right.
The other 2 servers were like serving the actual party, so they couldn't even leave.
Wow.
And I was like, I was cracking drinks and shit. I was giving them beer bottles, all kinds of other bullshit like that. It was crazy that day, and we were actually right by the race, so we actually saw the horses running by us and shit, and that was actually pretty fun.
Lit.
Yeah, it was actually low key kind of cool to see that shit, but it's like just the event itself is so hectic. It's like almost unenjoyable to some degree. It's just way too much people in there, just crowding it, and then you got all the cars driving on the grass while people are like walking, are actually in their sections, and you got cars driving through their sections on the grass and shit.
I seen that the parking situation for that place was gonna be really hectic.
It's hectic like a motherfucker, bro, and it's big, bro. That whole field is fucking huge. They had tents and spots like all the way up to the hill and shit, and that's where you know where the fucking rich ass pompous white folks were hanging out at.
Oh yeah.
They were at the top.
Yeah, no, the top of the hill is where the most expensive spots are. That's what I saw on the map when I was looking for it.
Because they can see the whole race. They can see
see everything.
They can see the whole race from the bottom. And shit.
You can see everything.
But yeah, it was a decent night. I was working the front door. I was working the parking lot of my job, and I was actually just because we had a deal where we would make the parking lot available for parking for $20 all day, and I probably made like $500-$600 that day.
Just in the parking lot.
Just in the parking lot because people wanted to walk.
Tips.
I got a portion of it. But that's just what it was. I wish I got that whole thing.
Yeah, word is bone. That's pretty good, though.
And then later on that night, I worked security. And I know we were working the door, checking IDs, letting people in. There was one dude that came in with his wife, or his mistress, or whoever the fuck it was. I don't know who the fuck that bitch was. This dude was like 6'6", 250 pounds. This nigga was slumped like a motherfucker. He was drunk as shit, like stumbling like this, like trying to walk and shit. And his wife was so embarrassed. She's like, "Oh my god, he is so fucking drunk. I don't know what to do with it." It's like,
oh, you get that nigga in the car.
And they took a train. They took the train because the train's literally right by the village.
Okay.
And then they walked back up here to get something to eat. And they waited for an Uber. The Uber took about a half hour because so much fucking traffic and shit. So they're just sitting by the bar and shit. And this is why I don't like drunk people, bro. Because this nigga out of nowhere is being like, I'm not trying to say he was being touchy and shit like that. He was trying to shake my hand, trying to like do the whole bro shit. Like, nigga, I don't know you. I don't know you, nigga.
They always want a bro.
And they said some random ass shit like, bro, how long you were going locks out? That's a random ass question, nigga. It's a random ass fucking question, but whatever.
That wouldn't be the question I would expect from the white dude, but
to
each their own.
I'm surprised you knew what that was.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't expect it, but to each their own.
But yeah, like it was a decent night though. But the night shift when all the people were coming in after the hunt and shit, it was actually pretty packed. But there was no, but here, that's how I knew that security was on top of the shit, because there was almost no one underage. There was some young people, like people probably like 2003 and shit, but other than that, it was all people like probably 35 and above that were coming into the restaurant trying to get food and shit.
That's crazy. Honestly.
There was not a single potential threat of a minor like coming in there and shit.
No.
So I just checked IDs and I did that
It's
for like.
crazy to think that someone born in 2003 can drink.
We getting old, bro.
Yo,
Yeah.
I was at the football game the other night, and this little kid, he was probably like 3, 4, or maybe like I give him like 5, 6, but his shirt said "Class of 2040."
That's 2040.
Wow.
Class of 2040.
Wow.
Oh, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Wow.
What the fuck?
So, wait, it's 2025. He's class of 2040.
Which is about 15
Yeah,
years.
that kid's
He had to be
5.
like
That
5.
kid's like, no, he's 3. Actually,
He had to be like 3.
he's 3.
So he's 3.
And his
He's
shirt said class of
15
He's
years.
3. In 15 years, he's gonna be graduating high school in 2040.
In 15 years, we're gonna be in our 40s.
That's fucking nuts.
That's it?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
15 years, we're gonna be in our
That's
40s. We're gonna be like 45, 44, and 46 or 42.
Fucking lighter is hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the oldest one out of all of us because I'm gonna be 45.
No, that's crazy. 2040.
But either way, that's still not old though. Fucking anybody says differently. That's not old.
Nah, that's why I said that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that is not old, bro.
Exactly,
Like, bro, we're still fucking young as shit compared to
Yeah.
like older people, bro. Like niggas that are like in their 60s, that's a whole different conversation.
Shit.
Yeah,
My
like
dad almost
we're
50.
still pretty young for our age, bro.
My dad almost 50. He still act like my age.
He do the same shit we
He
do.
the same shit we do.
Literally. Like, literally all the same
Bro,
shit.
like
When you really think about it,
How old your dad again?
my dad is he in
47.
November he'll be 48.
Oh wow, all right, so he's not that old. Yeah,
no,
yeah, he's not that old.
Like we said, he do the same shit.
Literally the same
do.
shit we do.
He try and get fly the same way we be getting fly. You know, he want to go to the club. He want to go to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He want to drink. He want to
He
smoke.
want to get his parlay on.
But that's the
Well,
other.
no
But that's
parlay,
see, but you see
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's the other thing about it too, bro. Like so let's go to the drinking thing. So people will say that like for example, I hate to bring up double standards again, but like so niggas be saying like yo, so when are you gonna grow up and stop smoking weed, right? And I always respond to them the same time, yo, stop drinking. And the reason why I say that is usually because the niggas that are asking me that are usually like 50, 60-year-old dudes that are at the bar still drinking.
See, but that's crazy though. Why you said the question was when are you gonna grow up and stop smoking weed?
And be mature.
Why am I
Why did we
immature?
associate smoking weed with as an adolescent mindset?
Because that's the culture we live in, bro.
I know, but at the same time, you got to get to a certain age to be able to drink.
Yeah.
Like you got to grow up to drink. Type of shit.
Like David, like I'm
Now
not
you're an
like
adult.
David,
Yeah.
David,
Now
I'm
you're
not
an adult,
bro.
But at the same age of me being able to drink now I can also legally smoke weed.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a like how I'm too old for this shit, but too young.
But no,
Like,
but that's my whole point of the double standard, bro. Is that like they look at smoking almost anything, like smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, whatever the fuck it is. It's like being immature. But like
Yeah.
drinking poison, even in your fucking 80s, is still like somehow okay and still adult behavior. Dude, I work at my fucking job right now, bro, and I'll serve sometimes, and I'm serving like 75-year-olds like hard liquor. They're drinking whiskey. They're drinking scotch.
I
Like,
don't need to be doing that no more.
like I don't understand
I
that.
don't need to be doing that.
You complain about us doing this shit, but you're drinking poison at 75. You're about to be out the door anyway. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make a drop of sense to me.
That's not funny.
I don't get
You said
it.
you're about to be out the door anyway. That's not.
Well, let's keep it a
funny.
buck here. The median age, the life expectancy in America is like 77. 77, like 80 years old and shit. So yeah, you're out the door, bro.
Mhm.
Sorry, not trying to be a dick,
Out the door.
but yeah, like that's just the one thing that I
Shout
don't
out to my great grandfather too. He just turned 96 the other day.
Yeah. Hey, yo, guys, when it comes to age, realistically, would you guys want to make it into your hundreds?
No.
If you could,
No.
no. If you were like healthy though. If you were healthy, like you
Better
didn't
be
have
careful what you ask for, baby boy. Talking about no.
That's well. I'm glad he rephrased it to say, "and you're healthy."
But no, like healthy for like a person who's like healthy for a person that age.
Right?
Though.
No, I get it.
Like not 105,
no,
not
no,
105, and like you're 25.
No. I get what you're saying. You know, I don't.
What do you want to live to 100, Jade?
If I'm living healthily, you know, enough for my age, then I guess that would be a great thing to see. I don't want to be old and suffering.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because a lot of people are in this. I
don't want to be old and suffering. That's my thing.
Like David, people are in their 60s and they're old and suffering right now.
No, I know.
So like, you can only imagine if they just keep living like.
At ShopRite, man, I used to serve. People used to come to my line and just put their groceries on the thing, and they're built like a pretzel.
What do you mean?
Because their back is all hunched over.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know, I've seen all types of debilitating conditions. I've seen somebody's nose look like it was about to fall off.
Oh,
and it's like damn it, his glasses are like pressed into his shit so far. Like I done seen gums, inflamed, almost popping out of your mouth.
Yeah, you know? those people are like in like their 90s and like or their 80s or 90s and like they've been around for a minute.
You know. God bless to the great grandparents that I still have because they're in their 90s and doing pretty well, you know, for their age.
I've always been actually kind of curious, like I'm not trying to be mean or whatever it is. I'm always curious, like you know, you mentioned like people in that age range like have like their back like completely hunched over like that. Is that like a medical condition or is that like an injury that they sustain or like is there just like something about it as you get older that happens to you?
It can be both. I know when you get to a certain age, you start shrinking. You lose like a half an inch every 5-10 years.
Okay.
To a certain age.
But that's also why. Also, I'm about to say this right now. That's why everybody needs to fucking strength train. You cannot afford to lose skeletal muscle as you get older because that's what's gonna happen to you. Actually, you get osteoporosis, you get sarcopenia. You need to lift weights. You need to do resistance training. Like, I don't care what anybody says, it's like a non-negotiable at this point.
No, it's a very important thing.
The evidence is crystal clear, like, you have to do it.
Have a diligence of taking care of your body, you know. Don't even wait until you get older. Be actively towards it at whatever age you are.
Like, you should be working out as like a savage throughout your entire 20s, and then obviously you get into your 30s.
As long as you can move. Yeah. Word up.
Because we're made to move, you know what I mean? We're fucking evolved monkeys and shit. We need to move and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people need to. And my coworker is still like arguing with me against it because his excuse is I don't lift
weights. Like other countries are like push that.
Yeah.
Like you see you see those videos of in like China or something like Japan, you know, and they got the old people doing the calisthenics every morning.
Like Russia and shit.
Every morning.
Yeah.
You know, on a schedule, you know, just to keep their body limber. So they can do what they got to do.
It's actually a standard, actually, believe it or not, in my favorite country, in Brazil, actually. Mm-hmm. Brazilians take full care of themselves, and like they really do work out extensively, and they also maintain their image, not just like for health reasons, but also for like beauty reasons as well. And I like that part of their culture because it's ingrained in their culture. Like you rarely ever see fat Brazilians. Or out of shape Brazilians, or even elderly Brazilians that are like kind of frail and fragile. They're very rare, unless they're like in like their 90s or 80s. They're very rare to see. Most of them are very physically fit and they're very strong like throughout their entire life. It doesn't really matter how old they get. It's a standard that they follow, and I love that. But the crazy thing is that like only in America like people will refuse to lift weights or strength train, take care of their body because of like this supposed idea of like body shaming a person and saying that a person should feel proud of how they look no matter like what their weight is or how strong they are, how fit they are. And like I think that's such a very horrible thing to push because you're advocating for unhealthy behavior. Mm-hmm. And while simultaneously we also advocate for better and more positive behavior. But the first place where it starts is your body. You know what I mean? You can't feel good about yourself mentally if your body it doesn't feel good physically. But people in America are so used to being out of shape and being unhealthy that's the norm down here, or that's the norm up here. You know, they're so used to being unhealthy and so out of shape and overweight that like they think how they're currently feeling while being like that is the right way to feel. But it's like if you go to the gym, if you lose some weight, you build some strength, it's like a whole different universe. And people don't get that.
That is true.
And my fucking coworker is still that nigga that saying some bullshit like, bro, I don't want to work out because I don't like sweating. And when I heard that shit, my jaw dropped. I'm like, my nigga, what?
You don't like sweating.
You're 28 years old and you literally just told me that you don't like working out because you don't like sweating. That's what America is right now, bro.
You might be a little sweet.
I feel like that goes a long way across a bunch of different people though. Like people are getting lazier in a sense, you know, and
we're treating it like it's normal.
Yeah.
That's the real problem though, because like with me, like because like I've always wanted to
it's
like
okay to just do more nothing, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Because I mean, y'all know me. Like, I developed an addiction to going to the gym and shit because I wanted to always gain weight. Because the funny thing is, I'm actually the opposite of people. I actually never liked being skinny. I was always trying to gain weight because, like, I always felt fragile and shit. And because of my body type, like, I can't gain weight very easily. So, like, I can't really retain even the muscle mass that I have on my body. Because if I don't eat enough and I don't work out enough, I lose it very quickly. Compared to other people, they don't have that issue. They don't lose like muscle tissue throughout the day. They just simply go a day without eating.
Yeah, no, conditioning that you said earlier is a very important thing that people should be incorporating. Just simple. Like I said, we was talking about calisthenics can do wonders in the long run for you.
And it also doesn't have to be long either. You don't have to work out like for 2 hours a day.
You can work out for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's actually what the studies have said. It's only 20 minutes, like 3 days a week, actually, to be in good shape. And people don't get that. But let me ask y'all a question, because like I saw this one clip one time of like a guy telling trying to explain to women, for example, because let's keep it real here. Which gender objectively is more difficult to get into the gym? Men or women? Let's just keep it a buck. Exactly. So for a number of reasons, the beauty thing, the fear of being bulky, and whatever it is. I had a woman at my job literally tell me some shit like, I don't want to eat too much protein because I don't want to get I don't want to get big like a bodybuilder. And I looked at her like, yo, and she's, mind you, she's younger than all of us. She was just born in 2003. And I'm like, okay, you did not just say that, because that's not how that works. It's not fucking steroids.
I don't know if that statement is true. It's 2025. And I don't know what gender goes to the gym more.
I don't know.
I know more females that go to the gym than I do.
Well, no, but like so you're not wrong about that, but still, for the most part, it's still more often guys that still go to the gym more than women do. It's not really common you see women going to the gym in general for the most part, because quite frankly, if I'm being controversial about this, they're genuinely afraid of going to the gym because they don't want to lift weights because they think they're going to get massive. Like a woman literally told me that like I don't want to get.
But that's not the only thing that you do at the gym. So it's like a lot of women do go to the gym because, like, say they're bigger and want to get slimmer.
Right.
So they go to the gym for that reason. Say they're slimmer and want to, actually get toned. Bitches want that booty. So either you're gonna pay for it or you're gonna work for it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing though, because like I go to the gym like early in the morning, and shockingly enough, the women who do go to the gym in the morning, they're there early in the morning, like 5, like 5 in the morning, no hesitation.
They'll find a way to incorporate it into their schedule.
Yeah,
if it's the early in the morning or if it's late.
Yeah, but the reason why like I get kind of upset with that is because like they literally don't understand basic biology. Like women physically don't have the ability to get bulky the way that men do. They literally can't do it because they don't have as much testosterone as we do, and their bodies are not designed to build as much muscle as ours are. So that's why they don't. I don't like hearing that because it's based on a complete ignorance. Like
it's based on your physique. There's only so many female bodybuilders.
Well, no, but the thing is, the really thing
looking big.
Well,
like
no, not female bodybuilders. It's like I think there's a two-sided coin, because there's female bodybuilders that are natural and ones that are on steroids, and the ones that are natural are almost like non-existent. They're like the women that you're talking about. They're those super brolicky females. Like they're on stuff and they openly admit it. Like no woman is looking like fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger without taking something. That's literally not possible. You don't have the physiology to do that in the first place. You know what I mean? Now, thankfully, no women at the gym I work out at actually look like that, except for one. There's only one woman that I know at the gym, and I'm actually pretty cool with her because her and her husband come to the gym at like 5 in the morning. I forget her name.
Is there a reason why she's that big?
She's a power lifter.
Okay.
She's a power lifter. And bro,
Cool.
I'm not lying to you, bro. This woman, I think, is 37, 38. Dude, she's like maybe 5'3", 5'2". She's jacked as shit. She's shredded like a motherfucker, and she can squat. She can lift more than most guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw her one time squat for 2 reps, 405.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool.
So she's strong as shit.
She's doing it for a reason. You know,
she's
some people
strong
just
as
get
a
big
motherfucker.
for no reason.
You said what?
I said that's good that she's doing it for a reason though. Like some people just get big for no reason.
Well, she doesn't compete though. She just does it because she just loves the sport though. But like she's like
it's still her interest though. She doesn't have to compete.
But she is ridiculously fucking strong, bro.
People get
it's ridiculous.
big as hell and then they work at Starbucks. Like.
So like you think that guys and girls should like get to a certain size, but like that kind of matches their occupation.
Like it just like there's a motivation behind working out and wanting your body in the condition that you want it in.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it has to correlate with your profession, but it's like, what are you putting these muscles to work for?
Well, it's partly also just a need for like longevity, because like again, muscle's the organ of longevity. So the more of it you have, and the stronger it is, the longer you actually will live, including your leg muscles actually. So you actually want to live longer, have strong thighs, and have strong quads, because that apparently that extends your life by like 7 years, I think. That's actually what the studies show. If you lose this first, you'll lose everything else. Because this obviously holds like.
If you lose this, you lose everything else. What? Where'd it go?
No, dude, your body just breaks it down as you get older, and then it starts digging into your bones. That's what sarcopenia is. Sarcopenia is just bone loss. Because after you turn 30 years old, you lose about.
Never escape like that.
Yeah, so like when you turn 30 years old, after 30, you lose about anywhere between 1 to 5% of your muscle mass. I think every not every year. I think it's like every 5 years. So you lose that, but like if you don't work out and build and maintain muscle, for example, it's like up to 5%. I think like every few years, and if you don't try to maintain that and resist that kind of loss, it then will start feeding it, digging into your bones. That's what sarcopenia is. That's what my grandfather is like right now, because he's 94, and it's really scary to see my grandfather right now like this, because he is 94 and he has dementia, but he's skin and bone. He can't stand up at all. And he has literally no balance. But that's part of why he's like that, because he didn't maintain himself physically when he was younger. Now obviously at 94, like he's not going to be like super jacked and shit, but he would still be able to, if he hadn't taken care of his physique when he was younger, he probably would still be able to walk without a walker. But he can't do that now. So that's where like the need for muscle support. And I keep warning my
coworkers. He didn't have the strength to carry his own body weight.
Exactly.
Calisthenics, people. Calisthenics.
And I keep warning my coworker about this shit, and he literally he also he turns everything into a debate. So he literally said, "Well, how do you know in the next 50 years, they won't, modern medicine won't invent like a pill that can allow you to be, reverse your age by 20 years." So he's avoiding working out because he thinks that by the time he's 60. The technology will invent some kind of a pill that will reverse his age.
Oh, wow.
He's one of those. He said that to me in the debate.
That's even worse.
That's the other side of the coin. That's even worse. What was it? Yeah, that's the even more dangerous side to that coin than what I'd be saying. Like how we've been thinking the world is gonna end for like years now. Type of shit. So like people have started giving up hope on reality, or more so framing reality to the shit that they see in the damn movies.
They're
because
being more fatalists now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're being more.
That's even worse. Not thinking that life is just gonna save you and you're gonna live forever.
But bro, he actually said that to me, bro, and I looked at him like, "Are you fucking serious?"
That's the type of people who gonna end up getting them mechanical enhancements and fuck around and die type shit.
He doesn't
all that cyberpunk shit,
which is crazy, because he doesn't like that kind of stuff either. Like, he doesn't take medication, pretty much at all. He
Mm.
doesn't go to the doctor, obviously, because he doesn't have insurance. But he said even if he did, he wouldn't really want to go.
So you think they're gonna? So you don't want to go to the doctor, but you'll take some pill that's gonna make you 20 years younger.
Bro, like
Like
he didn't make any sense. And like I looked at him like wait a minute. And he actually tried to turn it into a debate, whether I'm
like,
right or not.
do you know what that would do to you?
Probably kill you.
Exactly.
Like literally.
What is that? What would that even mean for it to turn your biological clock back 20 years? What is that going to do? Is that going to change your bones?
Which, by the way, would probably hurt anyway. Like, what are they going to do? Like, re-cement your bones and
Is
shit?
my brain going to regress 20 years? Am I going to forget 20 years worth of shit? Like,
this is the kid I'm working with, bro. So like,
ooh,
I got to deal
man.
with that shit.
That's crazy. No, that's diabolical right there.
And that's like,
yeah, wow. A pill
it reverses your age.
that reverses your age.
Or makes you feel better. Or some shit like that.
Never in my life.
Alright, well, here's a question, guys. In terms of age, when it comes to age, what if technology actually got to a point where it can stop you from aging or like stop your biological age, but chronologically you'll still get older? So do you remember? You know what? That was a wrong way of explaining it. Have you guys ever seen the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake?
Yes.
So imagine we lived in that world where technology, like obviously not through a tyrannical state, but imagine we had technology that could like stop you from aging at 25 biologically, and you stay your biological age of 25 for the rest of your life until you die. You know what I mean? You look the same, you have the same physical abilities, but like you still get older chronologically. So you can be 25 like physically, but like, you know, chronologically you're 102. What age would you guys want? Would you want your biological clock to stop?
Oh wow!
Like what age?
Ugh, that's such a weird.
25.
25?
I would say 25 is probably the most ideal number.
Really?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
It's when they say your brain stops developing.
Too old.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, at most I would go like 30, but like 25 is probably good.
Which also by the way is like literally when like for almost all of human history like 90% of people died.
But I think that's a good number. A quarter of a century, I think, you know, is a good solid number.
You know,
to have lived.
It's actually
in that state. Yeah.
It's really interesting when you think about it from the point of like humans, as long as we've been alive on this planet, for almost all of our history until probably the late 1960s, like going on backwards, like most humans didn't make it past 50, and then even before civilization, we didn't even make it past our late 20s.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like most people died at like 24, 25, like for almost all of human history before we invented civilization and modern medicine. It's really crazy
nuts.
how the fact that we now have people that can live into their 80s.
Oh yeah. Imagine, you know, how fast and how much we would have had to birth when the death rate is only at 25.
Yeah, like
but that get busy.
But that's also when like most people were having babies at like 14, like 14, 15, and they were having multiple kids like nonstop. Like they were just trying to reproduce.
And then by the time you get to your mom's age, your mom probably died.
Right.
Wow.
Like it's really kind of interesting because like even going back to the 40s, like people that were adults in the 40s, like they didn't make it past like 45. That's actually crazy. Now, if you were born in like the 1940s, you know you're still alive now. Most likely, many people are still alive now. They were born back in the 40s. But like if you were born in like the 1900s, like the 1920s, you could have died. Like you were probably going to be dead before your 50s. If you were born in like pre 1940, if you were born in that time frame, you probably were going to die between like your mid 40s to mid 50s, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because my father right now is 65. And he was born in 1961.
Mm.
It's like, think about that, bro. That shit is crazy.
That shit is crazy.
That shit is crazy.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you guys a controversial question, but it's more of a hot topic question, right?
Sure.
That's a double standard. So imagine this scenario, right? Imagine both of y'all are fathers, right? And imagine both of y'all have a daughter and a son. Now, let's say, for example, your daughter.
I feel like I know the question you're about to ask me already.
Then go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, fuck that.
No, continue.
Nah, fuck all that.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
I know the question you're about to ask me.
So imagine your daughter and your son are like 4 years apart, right? Imagine your son.
My son and my daughter are 4 years apart.
Are 4 years apart.
Okay.
The daughter's younger, right?
Okay.
Imagine your son is in high school. He's a 16-year-old fucking fresh. No, not freshman. That's pretty bad. He's a 16-year-old sophomore or junior, right? Mm-hmm. But then imagine he ends up in a relationship with a 14-year-old freshman, right? What's your opinion and attitude about that?
She's 2 years younger than him?
Yeah. Do you feel the need to have a conversation about the conversation about sex or dating or whatever it is?
I mean, absolutely. I still have to have that conversation no matter what age she is.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. But like, let me ask you this. As a father, and obviously as a man himself, are you going to be as stringent or as strict about that talk with him versus let's do the different story with your daughter. Mm. Your daughter is now in high school. She's 14, but she's now dating a 16-year-old. Mm. Are the conversations about sex and relationships are going to be equally strict to both genders, or are you going to have some kind of leniency for your son though? Because that's where the double standard is, where it's like if my 16-year-old son, gets laid by either a younger high schooler or even a possible older student, or even God forbid a fucking teacher or whatever it is, there's a different kind of attitude that our culture has when it happens to a boy. But if it's a girl or if it's a teenage girl, there's a murder trial waiting for you at the next step.
I think the best thing to do, no matter the age or gender of your child, is to tell them all the facts that they need to know. They need to know that they should be safe. They need to know that they should be ready. They need to know that they should be comfortable and have some sense of trust in the person that they're engaging with. Especially when you're if you're at such a young age and still wanting to and do these things. I get it being young.
So it seems to
I get it being young, but all of those things are very important for you to keep in mind going into these things. And all I can do is provide my kids with all the information because they're still young. They don't know it all, and they're still going to go out there and have to learn for themselves.
So it seems to me that you have an attitude of like, you're not going to be that kind of parent that's going to actually threaten them or try to like deliberately stop them and saying like, if I get any kind of hints that you're engaging in sexual behavior as a minor, oh, you're getting an ass beating or you're doing whatever. It seems to me like you're a parent where it's like, since I can't actually stop you because I probably won't be able to actually like be in a situation where I'll catch you guys in the act of doing it. I'm just gonna give you guys the information and probably a couple of condoms to be like, you know what, like if that's what happens, because some parents will be like, no, you need to threaten and scare the shit out of your kids in order to stop them from doing it, as opposed to like yours and my attitude about like, you know what, I'd rather you not do it, but you're probably not gonna listen to me.
The thing is, when kids get to that age, they want to start practicing. Well, even earlier in age, they just do it in certain,
which is wrong.
They just do it in certain. Well, no, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about something else. It happens even earlier for some kids. But at a certain age, kids want to start practicing more of their own free will, type of thing. The act of making their own decisions, type of thing, and that's going to come with mistakes, and. Yeah, all I can do is like I said, I can't stop them, and it's like damn, I'm missing my point. They're gonna make their own decisions, man. I mean, I'm missing my point. Somewhere in there. I'm missing my point.
So let me ask you this question, because like I think we kind of went off track a little bit. I'm referring to like the double standard like attitude between like how like fathers or even parents in general will treat like their sons, like let's say underage sexual activity versus their daughters. Because I think you guys both know that there is the cultural double standard where it's like fathers and mothers and just parents in general and just society in general is far more protective, almost murderously protective over like a teenage girl being in that situation versus it happening to a guy. You know, the whole like, you know, cliche of like, for example, like the stories of like a 16-year-old boy, you know, sleeping with his high school teacher. You know, there's a cultural attitude where like sometimes there's like a little low key kind of like yo, good shit, bro. This is sort of like a praise, an underlying praise if a teenage boy actually does that versus if it happens to a girl. It doesn't matter what age she is. She could be either 14 or even like fucking. She could be even be 18, for example. If it's a 30-year-old dude, it's automatic predation, labeling predation, and everybody and their grandmother, even if the woman is technically of age, they'll still technically come after they'll still want to come after the guy at 30. Versus if it's a woman doing it, it's still not seen with the same level of hostility. Again, even if it's an 18-year-old boy with like a 35-year-old woman.
I mean, she's still going to jail.
Yes, but the cultural attitude...
And she's still getting on the predators list.
The cultural attitude is still far different, though. The double standard is still different, where like, even if she does go to jail rightfully and still gets put on the predator list, there's still an attitude of like, yo, like, you know, there's still something about that where like an 18-year-old kid, you know, quote unquote, pulled a 30-year-old or some shit like that. That doesn't exist in the female side of the world in that conversation. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Or am I talking crazy?
No, you're not talking crazy. But it's just like... Yeah, it's just like, who are we... We're talking about the minors in this instance.
Right.
So it's like there's no room for there to be any type of congratulations in that. But these are the children.
No, David, I understand that, but for the most part, I'm referring, and I agree with you. I'm referring to like, there's still a minority of like some kind of like underlying praise if a 16-year-old dude actually does that. I've seen a movie referencing what you're talking about. You said what?
I've seen a movie referencing what you're talking about.
Because let's keep it a buck here as well. Like, there are some fucking 60-year-old perverts out there that are probably trying to with their teachers anyway. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real here. Like, there probably is.
Sure.
And even more grossly, like, there's probably you know, teenage girls that are doing the same thing with male teachers sometimes.
Okay, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's a bigger issue at hand than the like that's the sexual promiscuity,
right?
That culture that's being spread around,
right?
And that's what we're trying to teach our kids to avoid. We're not telling them not to make these decisions and do what you do. We're telling you to be safe and to be conscious of the actions that you're doing, because there's a lot of ways in which you can engage in stuff like this and not be safe, and things can happen to you. You know, that's why the industry is so dangerous, because there's no regulations. No one's protecting these people.
Well, no, like, no. There is regulations, but but there's no real protections.
No one's protecting these people
for the people that are actually in the industry, which is why, for example, like people advocate for legalizing prostitution. I don't trust the government enough to allow them to legalize it and therefore regulate the actual practices, because there are fucking idiots in government too. So like, decriminalizing it, absolutely, it should be decriminalized, because no one should be getting criminalized for doing something that a private. Again, we talked about this at the fucking mall and shit. You know what I mean? Because legal does not always mean ethical. So like, just because something is legal, like fucking slavery was, doesn't mean it's an ethical practice. It doesn't mean that it's right on a moral level. So again, like, so there's difference between like something that's legal and ethically regulated versus like legal and just like being inhumane.
Right.
Even goes down to corporations treating their employees a certain way. It's like, it's legal, but it's not necessarily right. You know, overworking people and like forcing them to do things they may not want to do and shit like that.
Now, that from a standpoint of your own children comes more moralistically. You know, I see her going. From when we're talking about children, it's a more moral and ethical standpoint,
right?
That we're talking about.
But then that goes into the conversation where my coworker and me and Dean were talking about, the idea of like, is turning 18 the objectively right age to be considered an adult? Because depending on the culture, because it does exist in the modern day, there are cultures where 15 is the legal age of consent, where you're technically an adult in that country. So that's just more. You can argue whether if you want to be a moral relativist, you can argue that maybe that's just how their culture does it and shit. But then you can argue that that's objectively wrong.
It's crazy because it's like age used to mean age used to like have steps. It used to like there were steps to growing up, and it was like when you reach this certain point, you may technically legally be an adult, but it's like you're still working through other stuff. There's still other steps that you have to hit once after you pass 18, to get to do other things. Like you gotta wait till you're 21 now to drink and to smoke type of thing.
You gotta be 23 to rent out a Airbnb.
Yeah, you gotta be 23 to rent a car.
Yeah,
type of shit. There's
which also again like that drives me nuts because it's like nigga.
I think that comes with Well, I think the car thing comes with driving experience.
It still doesn't matter, Davian, because like at the same time, Davian, what still drives me nuts, Davian, is the inconsistency of the age thing, Davian. You gotta be 21 to drink, right? 23 to rent a car or an Airbnb. But at 18 years old, if you made a decision, you could get married and you could then get pregnant and be responsible for another human life at 18 years old. Explain to me how taking care of a human life is less needing of responsibility in comparison to being trusted enough to rent out a fucking Airbnb or a car.
That's what I'm saying.
If you have a kid if you get pregnant at 18 and then you give birth to the kid, let's say at 19, like let's say you're midway through being 18 years old, whatever the fuck. Imagine that. But then imagine the responsibilities, and then God forbid the child dies because you're irresponsible. But you have to be 23 and 21 to be trusted to drink or rent out a fucking car. I don't understand the disconnect. Damn it!
No, this is what I'm saying. This is why I think it's messed up, because especially now that these new kids are getting dumber, type shit. It's like there should be. It shouldn't necessarily. I don't think like age is a determining factor for you to have certain access to things. Maybe motherfuckers should start taking tests for shit.
But then that becomes tyrannical, because now you're playing the game of who in government gets to decide whether a person is competent enough or intelligent enough, responsible enough to drive a car, to drink, to smoke, to get married and have a child.
Well,
then you're playing that game, and then you involve human bias when it comes to race and ethnicity, cultural attitudes.
Do you know the it's like it's not, maybe not even a.
But yeah, like that's just how I feel about it, because like you're playing a game of like what person in government gets to decide all of that. Because if you're saying like you have to get a test to,
I think there should be a competency level before you engage in things where there are obvious risks, or you're taking you're claiming your rights as an adult, as a citizen of this country, type of thing. Even if as simple as now you get to vote, type of thing. They should be making, even if it's not a test, make it be something that you got to sign at the bottom of it. Well, and if you choose not to read it, and then if you choose not to read it and not to be aware of what you can be held accountable for when engaging in these certain things, then obviously you'll be,
Well, I low-key agree with you, Davian, but at the end of the day, like, those whole ideas still have a risk of becoming tyrannical, where just whoever's in government gets to determine who's qualified for certain things, because they'll base it off that test, but that test is going to automatically just be biased simply because human beings have
what
their
if
own
it's a questionnaire?
biases.
What if it's a questionnaire?
But who decides what the questions are? Like that's the question though. Who decides what the questions are? Whether or not these questions are fair.
Okay. So is it the fact that if any how do we make a list of questions on there that isn't biased?
That's incredibly difficult to do. It's very difficult.
It depends on what you're trying to engage in. I don't think there should be questions that argue anything about your race.
Yeah, but it could also be something for where like you could be limited by the amount of information you have in front of you when it comes to the questionnaire. So a person with,
well, this isn't a job. I can if you're obviously like if you're a veteran or something like that, or if you have a disability, that might put you in a different position than other people, type of thing. But also if you have
in your ability to actually understand the question.
Yeah. No, to be able to engage in whatever you're signing for.
Right. Okay. But then that is where it's like so then we can go off and say, like, for example, are you competent enough to be able to be trusted to drink or smoke,
yes,
for example?
Exactly.
Damn, but that's dangerous though.
Exactly.
That kind of a questionnaire is dangerous.
Even if you look like I said, it's like a contract and you got to sign at the bottom. Most people, when they sign up for shit, don't read it.
They don't read the fine print.
They don't read the fine print, and they sign for it anyway, and then they just have it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Read the fine print, right, so you know everything that you're getting into before you engage in said product. And if you don't, and something bad happens to you, that's your fault.
So basically, like, you want the world to have government warnings.
On everything.
Yeah, but you also have to play. But again, that goes right back into my argument of, like, you need to be mindful who the fuck is in government, because they might be feeding you false information just to fuck with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The issue is who's writing down whose bias is we're going against.
Exactly. Or whose bias we have to go by, because obviously people are not the same politically and ideologically.
Now, not everything I think is going to be on the same level of intensity. Like, I think the regulation for being able to smoke is going to be different than being able to have a gun, type of thing.
But then, all right. So now we're playing a game of whether or not who should be eligible to have a gun, though, because again, who's ever in government,
level of competency,
who's ever in government can then determine what level of competence they want, because some people could be so fucking dumb in government they could make the most basic level. The fucking movie Idiocracy.
Aren't all these things you're talking about already in place?
Yeah, but not to the same degree, because they don't have qualifications for it. Like, the right to bear arms is the Second Amendment, but there's no rules.
You can't. Yeah, there's qualifications to bear arms.
Not to the degree I think he's arguing for, because he's arguing for, like, something where, like, a person has to be a certain level of intelligence to have a gun versus.
It's like competency. It's like being able to. It's like having something, but it's like I'm explaining it on different levels. Whether it was, being able to smoke, being able to have a gun, being able to adopt a child, type shit.
Right.
Like, there's different levels of competency that you're going to have to be able to have said thing in your possession.
Or maybe not a certain degree of competency, but more of a degree of trust, where, like, the governing body that you're living under, as well as the society that you also live in, can trust you with that said behavior. Because again, adopting a child requires a number of things.
They need to be able to trust you with said thing. That's why you're signing on the line for it.
Right.
So they need to be able to trust you with this.
But voting is where, like...
So it's like, you're going to have to read all of this. Do you understand? We're going to have to be able to trust you with this. And if we can't, in some way or shape, if you break your contract...
I get it, Davian. I get it, Davian. But I'm very skeptical about that, because I'm just worried about the government overstepping its boundaries, where it's determining who is allowed to do what. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we already live in a world like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're playing the game right now with the severity of who is really allowed to do what.
It's low key a lot freer. I'm low key making it a lot freer, because I'm opening it up, and all you gotta do is read the contract to know if you're going to get into this or not. Mm-hmm. And if you read it and you say, "Oh no, I don't want that," don't sign it. Mm-hmm. And you don't gotta have it, type of shit. You don't have access to this, type of shit.
Okay.
Now, if you do sign it, I hope you read it.
Which people don't.
Because if you break your contract, something bad is going to happen to you.
You see, that's okay. I get your
point. Whether you go to jail, whether you have to pay a fine,
But we already low-key live in a world like that. We just don't have the actual...
I think it should be a lot more strict.
But we don't have the actual documentation to actually solidify like the actual enforcement of those things. Because a lot of it is based on just human interpretations. You know what I mean?
It's a lot more free, but it was like, if you start breaking these rules... Because we have contracts for everything,
right?
Like, it's
well, you know what, Davian? Now that you're talking like that, Davian, like, I mean, technically we already have that. They are called laws, but the problem with the laws in this country, Davian, is that most people don't have access to it. And then the other thing about the laws that we have in this country is that a lot of the laws are written by politicians and policymakers that don't understand that most Americans don't have the actual educational knowledge to really interpret these laws the way that the policymakers actually wrote them in the first place.
I realize what we're talking about now, and what I'm kind of insinuating. It's the fact that there's loopholes. A lot of loopholes to getting away with shit
because of interpretation of the law. So like a lot because policies are written by humans, and humans again are biased, and they are subjective in many different ways. So a lot of the problems that's literally why we have fucking lawyers, because laws are written into place, but lawyers can interpret laws that can either serve for their clients or against them.
You can get off with some shit.
So that's one of the interesting things.
I'm trying to tighten shit up and get rid of a lot of these loopholes is what I'm talking about. That's probably what I'm insinuating.
Well, unless you get rid of humans, Davian, that's not gonna happen. Davian!
I'm not saying like we gotta get rid of humans. It's like
what?
It's like I'm not saying like we gotta get rid of humans, but it's like these loopholes, man. Like the problem is. The people getting away with these loopholes and shit are the people who already have the power.
They already have power in government, so they're just writing it for their own benefits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's also so here's an idea. I do believe that within every state and within countries in general, I think that there should be a mandatory letter of notification when a bill or law gets passed in your government, especially within your local town. I think that all of us should get a non-excusable like letter of notification of when a town, a county, a state, the feds, when they pass a bill, we get that letter, and it explains to us thoroughly what that means, when it will take place, when it's enacted, and what we can do about it in terms of protesting it or wanting to actually have it vetoed again.
That's the only way you can make sure everybody get it too.
No, exactly. Like we should have an absolute mandatory letter of notification where if any governing body passes a bill, we need to be aware of it, because a lot of it is that we have to all figure it out ourselves. We have to go online, which I'm not saying people can't do, but like with all the money and technology that we have, the government should send us all the notifications of when certain laws are passed. You know what I mean? Because it's not like we're lawyers and we'll be able to interpret it. We'll be able to interpret it to our best ability. But being aware of laws, because like people go into law firms talking to lawyers, and they'll say something, and the lawyer's like, yeah, that's not how it works, because they don't know shit. They don't know anything.
That's one way to tighten up the loopholes, Randall. That's one way to tighten up the loopholes.
Yeah.
Give everybody the same access to the information that the loopholes.
Because also, by the way, and this is actually a little more controversial, where it's like, why doesn't the government do that in the first place? Because it's like, they're doing what they're doing, and we don't know much about it, when it should be the reverse. We should know everything the government's doing, because they're not a private entity. We're private citizens, so we should know what our governing body's doing 24/7 versus the government being private and knowing everything that we're doing.
That's true.
That's like a non-negotiable.
That's a fact.
We should know every single thing the government's doing, especially when it comes to where the money's going. It's like, it's my fucking tax dollars. Like, where is my money going?
Yeah.
Like, I need to know literally everywhere it's going, like, non-negotiable. Whether it's going to a bridge, it's going to a foreign country, it's going to, to repair the potholes or to repair the water pipes or whatever it is. I should be notified of that every single week, day, month, whatever. Get a letter notification, send it to me. Hey, this is the governing body of fucking Boundbrook. We're spending $5,000 to repair this bridge or to repair this water pipe that was damaged 3 months ago, and we're doing this. We should know that.
That's a fact.
Without question.
Without having to look for the information, without having to just show up to to a town meeting and hear the information
Yeah,
passing.
but also, by the way, Davey, in terms of like town meetings, they should also send that to us as well. Like again, like towns of Somerville, Bound Brook, whatever, the state.
I mean, look,
send
they
us
already
notifications
have
of these committee
most towns
meetings.
have local stations, like not even just News 12 for the whole state, but most towns have like local stations where they have like, a broadcast where they do like school announcements or something.
Yeah.
But they can have that shit televised. You know, for people to have access to these.
Well, they can have it televised, but again, like I do believe that there should be a written document proof of what they're doing.
No, send it in the. I'm saying, send it in the mail. Put it on the television. Put it on the radio. Whatever you gotta do. Send a text message throughout the state. I don't care.
Yeah, but
get
that also
get the information out to these people. Let them know the loopholes just as much as these fuckers up there do.
Exactly.
And
it's also kind of crazy because like we do live in a culture in a world that's very globalized and shit. But the problem is that like we're very much more focused as to what's happening outside of our backyards as opposed to what's happening like within them. Like we're more concerned about what the fucking feds are doing overseas or whatever it is versus what's happening in our local towns of Somerville and Bound Brook, and we don't know that like they're gentrifying this area, pushing these people out, doing this shit, building this place. We don't know about that until it actually happens.
They do this in every town along the very line.
So like we don't know about that because we are more or less more focused on what's happening outside of our vicinities. You know, a lot of people don't know what's happening within their own backyard because they are more focused on the larger scale government when it comes to what they're doing. When it's like most of the time it doesn't really affect us that much. At least until our tax dollars get involved.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, we are gonna wrap it up. Randall, you wanna leave them off or something?
Keep reading. Because these people are getting fucking dumb.
Gee.
Stay in school. Because these people are getting fucking dumb.
And, calisthenics.
Nice.
On that note, this has been Unpopular. And we will see y'all.